Right, I'm sitting here with Jimmy Slice Yardley, fresh off a win last weekend at UCMMA, where he defeated his opponent within the first round via Ezekiel choke, which is, say, not very seen nowadays. So you stepped into UCMA, usually fight at Fusion. What was it like stepping back in there again?
Yeah, it's good to stay active, you know. I want to squeeze in maybe 4 or 5 fights this year. So yeah, I had to. I think Fusion's got 3 cards this year. So I reached out to Dave O'Donnell and jumped on there for a matchup. It was nice to come out of my comfort zone in a different venue as well.
Yeah, because predominantly you have fought at Fusion as well. Are there any other organisations you fought in apart from Fusion and UCMMA?
So as an amateur, yeah, I fought on Harry Shoebridge's show, Warrior Fight Series, and just like some tournaments that they done at ZT, and a few shows like good 10, 11 years ago, yeah.
So you started doing this about 10, 11 years ago. You explained to me you had a bit of a gap in your career. How long did you take your break from MMA for? And if you don't mind saying, what was the reasons for that?
So I done it from, I think, 18 to 21, maybe 22. I had some health complications, and yeah, I just then after that I just didn't get back to it, and I think 2015 one of my good friends died, who I was training with at the time, and I decided to. I think I'd done about 8 weeks training. I hadn't trained at all in that time really. Done about 8 weeks training, and then that's when I fought on Harry Shoebridge's show. I wanted to raise a bit of money for his child. So yeah, and then didn't bother training again after that, and then came back with Mark. I think about tail end of 2016, I think.
How did that call come around? Like, did you know Mark previously, or do you know any people that fight with train with him at the moment?
I literally Googled. I'd obviously knew about Tom Green, like he was a name around the circuit, and I knew that he trained here. But I literally Googled gyms near me, and just came down. Yeah.
So have you always lived in this area then? Is Grinstead your local area? This has always been your local gym?
No. So I'm from Crawley, which is about takes me about 25 minutes to get to this gym. Yeah.
So you finished. So do you work? Is this your full-time sort of job now, being an MMA fighter, or do you do something on the side?
No. So I do like security at a nightclub and static security as well at like buildings and stuff like that. Yeah.
Like you said, it's always good to keep busy in between fights if it's working or fighting. So looking at your records, you're undefeated. Okay. Yeah. Majority of your fights, you can see you finished in the first round,
yeah.
And you're a bit of a submission guy as well. So is that your sort of background predominantly before, when you got into it? Because you're saying you got into it a little while back before MMA was really a big thing. So were you training in some sort of jiu-jitsu beforehand or something like that?
No, so I done my first ever jiu-jitsu session with Mark.
In 2015?
Yeah. No. 2000, end of 2016, I done my first ever jiu-jitsu class, yeah. Before that, I trained mostly wrestling and then like MMA specific classes. But my background is more wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, because I can see from a lot of your fights, you like to take it to the ground. You can knock people out on the feet. Your stand-up's good as well. But I can see you do like to take them to the ground, finish off submission, as you keep obviously very much well doing. Yeah. So, with this fight with UCMMA, was it a sort of a last-minute thing? Because there wasn't much build-up to the fight. Did you get a last-minute call to step in for someone?
Right. So at the beginning of the year, I was supposed to have a fight with a bloke called Lee Spencer. I had to pull out because I fractured my arm just before Christmas, my elbow, and I'd still tried training on it, and I literally couldn't train, so I had to pull out. I couldn't, I wouldn't have been able to get the weight off and stuff. Like, it was really bad. Like, people would just brush past me, and it'd be agony. So I had to pull out of that. Then I tried a campaign for the fight to be moved to this card just gone, this May 11th, and I didn't. As far as I was concerned, it was going to go ahead. But then I see Lee was fighting the guy who I just fought on the poster. And so then I thought, okay, well, that fight's called off. And Lee actually ended up pulling out of that fight. And Dave asked me like a few weeks before, do I want to jump in? And I said, yeah. And I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to call Lee out after I smash up his opponent.
Nice. And what was your response to that sort of thing?
Yeah. Lee's up for it. He fancies it. So I think that's a good fight for me. He's got a good record, and he likes to stand and bang. And I've been doing a lot of boxing, so we can stand and bang.
Well, you've got your next fight lined up for you already. You're fighting back at Fusion again, at Fusion 30?
Fusion, yeah. So we're working on a fight at the moment against an international fighter, and it'll definitely be my hardest fight so far, yeah.
Okay, so biggest test to date. Do you know anything about this guy coming into the fight? Any of his background at all?
Not overly. I can see I can see he's quite well rounded. Yeah, nothing specifically. I think he's great at, but he's fairly decent at everything.
Okay, and obviously with a win over someone a bit more high-ranked opponent to yourself, you think it's one of your biggest tests to date. What's the next step for you going forward? Like, winning this fight, you're going to be 8-0. Okay, after winning this fight, what sort of steps do you want to take forward? Do you want to get that Fusion belt, or do you maybe want to look at bigger and better things? What's the plan going forward?
So I want to have this fight on Fusion, and then I want to have the Lee Spencer fight on UCMMA, and I think Fusion is a couple weeks after that, so I'll jump on there again, and then maybe campaign for like a Bellator fight.
Because you've got a couple of guys in the gym that have fought at Bellator as well, so you've got some of the links there.
Yeah. So obviously I went to go and watch Tom fight at Bellator, and it would just be really good to... Bellator, Cage Warriors, or any sort of arena show would just be good, yeah.
Well, there's a few Bellator events coming up this year. You've got Bellator in Birmingham again, and one in Dublin, potentially one in Manchester, and also you've got big Cage Warriors fights coming up as well. But I said this is literally a week after your Fusion fight. These cards are happening. So would you maybe, if you were given the opportunity to fight maybe in September, I think it's around September, to come back to Birmingham, was that something that might interest you at all?
I think really that's when the UCMMA cards in September, and that's the fight I've campaigned for. So I've called him out. So any other fights would be on the back burner. That's the fight I'm after.
Well, you're definitely starting to get your name out there. So people remember fighters that finish fights. They go out there, take a fight anytime, anywhere. I was at Fusion 29 when you fought on there as well. Yeah. And you were telling me you were suffering from an injury at the time as well, but you still managed to go in there and get the win. So how were you feeling before that fight?
So basically, I still hadn't done... From the injury from Christmas, so I had a fracture in my elbow, and what had happened was my tricep had pulled the fracture away from the bone.
Lovely.
And so still now I've got a floating bit of bone in there, but it seemed to have rounded off now. It doesn't get like irritated. And all I did for that fight, I done one sparring session, which I had to call off because my arm was hurting, and I just done road work for that, just running. But I knew that I'd just take him down, and I literally just went a bit OTT with the other elbow.
Yeah, I did notice when I was watching it, I was looking, he's definitely using the other elbow there from what he spoke to before. So I watched a UCMMA fight as well. First round finish again. Yeah. Do you know what I mean there? Is the Ezekiel choke something you've done before, or is it something new to you?
Yeah, so I've been using it in sparring a little bit, yeah.
So I interviewed someone earlier, a gentleman called Elliot Hannaford. He trains with you as well. Yeah. And I know you're good friends. He sort of called you out at the end just for a bit of fun. I know there's nothing malicious there. What have you got to say about to Elliot saying, I'm coming for you, Jimmy Jits? What's the answer to that?
I don't know, really, because he's already got his revenge a little bit, so I don't know why he's keeping on. But, yeah, we got a healthy rivalry in the gym, so it's going to be an ongoing thing.
And it's nice to see, like, no disrespect to yourself, say he's one of the younger kids in the gym, do you know what I mean? So it's nice to see someone like you happy to help him out. So you've been at KFA for a bit now. How are you finding it at KFA? You know, the surroundings, the people you train with. You know, what's it like? What's it like training here?
I really like this gym. And I like all the guys that train here. It's good camaraderie, and just tend to help each other out. Like when people's got a fight coming up, you know, we'll step in, we'll help each other with sparring and that. Mark always like for this last fight on UCMMA, you know, in the classes, he sort of built some of the classes around specifically what I could use, which was really helpful. And yeah, like there's obviously a good standard here. There's a lot of guys that compete. Obviously, Tom's a veteran. He's good, and yeah. But this is like my main home gym, but I do train at a few other gyms just to mix it up.
Are those gyms you're training at their MMA gyms as such? So you're sort of getting out your comfort zone, training against people who are a bit different to the styles you used to here?
No, so I train here, and I train at Crawley Amateur Boxing Club, and there I train with Paul Devlin and Pete Charlton. And what I do there is I just work on my hands, and I work on like my fitness and my strength and conditioning, because it's local to me. Like sometimes it's quite hard for me to get down here and train. But I do my MMA and like my jiu-jitsu here, yeah. But I work my hands there. I do stand-up striking with Mark as well.
Yeah, so it always, a lot of people I talk to, it always comes back to the same story. You know, Mark's got a good level of people here. He's got enough time for you all. You know, it really does seem like, as I said, I've said it before, one big happy family here. You all help each other out. It's fantastic.
Yeah. There's always a good vibe in the gym. You know, there's no. To be honest, I haven't come across anyone in the gym who I don't like.
No hotheads that walk around thinking they're the big I am, anything like that? Because you always get the gym with at least one of them in. Do you find that here?
To be honest, if there is anyone like that, they get filtered out pretty quickly, you know, because you can't act like that in this gym, because, like I said, there's a good level of fighters here.
So, a question I wanted to ask you, because I love nicknames that people come up with and stuff like that. It's fantastic. So, first of all, why Slice? Why Jimmy Slice Yardley?
Right, so obviously people call me Jimmy, and it literally came from a guy called Brian at one of my older gyms. Literally just went Jimbo Slice, and it's just stuck since then. It's obviously Kimbo Slice, Jimbo Slice, and yeah, it literally came from that. That's it. No violent meaning behind it, doing people with elbows and stuff like that.
I thought it was something to do with pizza or something.
Yeah,
Slice.
yeah. By the looks of me, it could be cake or pizza, to be honest. But yeah.
So, are you cutting weight at the moment or anything for your fight coming? Or do you tend to fight your natural weight class generally, don't you?
I should be fighting realistically at 61 kilos. I'm going to go down in this fight to 66, but I've been fighting at 70. But realistically, I'm a 61 kilo fighter. I'm not very big, but I just have a very bad habit of blowing up to about 86, 88 kilos between fights.
Why do you think that is? Is it just the food you're eating, the diet?
Bad diet.
Do you know what? A lot of people say it. It's hard. Do you know, I'm not a fighter, so I can't relate. But just trying to go on a diet's bad enough. But trying to shred, how much are you sort of shredding before your fight sometimes? Well, what's the most you've had to shred before a fight?
88 to 68.
And what sort of time frame do you do that?
I think I did do that in about 8 weeks, but like I done 10 kilos on this fight in about 3 weeks, so which weren't bad. And now, like where are we now? The fight was on Saturday. We're Tuesday. I'm only sitting around 73, so I'm just going to maintain that, and probably a week before the fight, really start bringing it down, and a water cut as well. So
what just people out there who don't know, what weight class are you fighting at this time round going into Fusion?
It's going to be 66 kilos.
It's going to be 66, so you're happier there, you feel more comfortable, feel more fit there, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just not. I look at some guys that fight a lightweight, and they're literally just like monsters compared to me. And like I've got so much weight to lose. Like I haven't come in lean for one fight, so it'd be nice to, you know, get a bit of a beach body.
Get ready for the summer and all that sort of thing.
Look the part for once. Do you know what I mean?
Look at Roy Nelson, yeah, one of the veterans.
I don't want to be compared to Roy Nelson. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
like that. That's not a good look. It really isn't.
Well, give your opponents the wrong idea, but definitely when you look in there, you look solid. You looks like, from where we're sitting, it looks like core strength is quite a solid thing for you. You hold your opponents down quite well, and do you feel like you're coming against these guys who are cutting a lot of weight to get there? You're holding them down. They're tiring out really quickly due to the weight loss.
I have fought above. I've come in a weight class below, not as a pro, but as an amateur, I've come in at least a weight class or two below people and still been able to do the same thing. So I don't know whether it's physical strength or more like wrestling technique, but yeah, I can manhandle someone, definitely.
Yeah, no, I've been here to witness it as well. Ground and pound and submission. Obviously, predominantly they are submissions. What's your preferred method of finish? I know you just want to finish every fight the best way you can, but is there any way you prefer to finish them?
So this fight, this one just gone, I literally went out for the Ezekiel choke just to annoy Elliot.
So did you actually look for that one this time then?
Yeah. The whole fight was around that. Yeah.
Fantastic. I said I've never seen Ezekiel choke like from someone that say at your pro level after 7 fights. So it's fantastic to see. It shows your level of jiu-jitsu. It shows your knowledge and your skill. And I'm guessing that's all been learnt from Mark Hobbs. Is that correct?
All my jiu-jitsu is from Mark Hobbs. Yeah. All of it. Like I had a very, very basic understanding from MMA classes, but I've come on probably 20 to 50 times better since I've actually started specifically training submissions. But yeah, preferred method to finish a fight though. Everyone loves a knockout, don't they? Everyone loves a knockout.
Have you got? Obviously, I've watched a lot of your fights, trying to get as much footage as I can. But have you actually had a full KO? Because I know you've got a lot of TKOs and submissions.
Yeah. In amateur fights, yeah. But as a pro, I've got 1 TKO on there. I've got 1 decision, and the rest are submissions. But everybody I've fought, I've beat in the first round. So the guy I decisioned with, I fought again, and rectified the fight before.
And what was the result in your rematch against this gent?
I'm triangle in about a minute and a half, I think. Yeah.
So sorry, did you fight him at amateur this gent, then you fought him again at pro?
No. So I fought him as a pro.
Yeah.
I had a lot of stuff going on at the time, and I didn't really train for that fight to start off with. Went weigh-ins, went and got something to eat and got food poisoning.
Oh, joking.
So I'd cut weight. First thing I'd eaten, I'd thrown up, and then I literally didn't eat from then till the fight. So I was just weak as anything, and it went the full 15 minutes.
Which is the last thing you need as well.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought to myself, I'll still fight because I'll get him out of there quickly. And it was literally like hell on earth. I went to the hospital after. It was completely one-sided, but where I was so dehydrated and stuff, I really did receive some damage, you know. I didn't have a lot of fluid on my brain and stuff, and yeah, it was a bit of a hard one, but it was nice to know that even in that state I can push for 15 minutes.
No, exactly. It just, as I was exactly say what you just said there. It just shows that you can, in any sort of situation, adversity, you can still pull through and get the win. So what we say is, when you're at 100% without the bad elbow, without all this sort of stuff, you know what you're going to be capable of. And I personally think it's going to be bigger and better things. So one more thing I want to let you do, I'll let all the fighters do. Give us a shout out to any training partners. If you want to call Elliot out, great. Do you know what I mean? And any sponsors you may have, and where people can follow you, like follow your career.
Okay, so. My Instagram is Jimmy E Slice. You can follow me on there. Shout outs. I want to do shout out to my sponsors: MSC Motor Service Centre, Brighton CBD, Tommy's Barbers, and All Time Security. They all sponsored me on my last fight. Shout out to my coaches, Mark Hobbs. Shout out to Paul Devlin, Pete Charlton. A good training partner who I haven't mentioned, who's not at either of those gyms, is Dominic Dillon. He's been helping me out a lot. That guy is an absolute whiz on the ground, and his wrestling's on point. And he's got a good stand-up game as well. That's who I've been sparring with quite a bit. And just all the guys down the gym. Tom Green, always mentoring me away. He's experienced. He's a veteran. He can give me quite a lot of advice. And Aaron Delahunty as well. He's in Thailand at the moment, but he always gives me a nice bit of advice on cutting weight and stuff like that. He's really schooled on it, and if you can see the shape that he goes from, he's like he's complete dad bod to absolutely ripped to pieces. So he always gives me a lovely bit of advice. Anyone I've missed out, sorry. There's loads of people, but I'll be here all day. But yeah, off the top of my head.
Did you want to give a shout out? I know you mentioned you did a fight a little while ago for a charity sort of thing for your friend who's someone passed away. Do you want to give a shout out to that charity and where they can donate money?
No. All it was it wasn't a specific charity. What I done was just raised a little bit of money and gave it to the mum of his child. Okay. So that was that. But yeah, R.I.P. Gary. Yeah, that was what that fight was about. Yeah.
Oh, I found it's great that you did that sort of thing for the family. You know, our thoughts and wishes go out to all the family as well. One more thing, let us know where they can watch your next fight. Okay, how to get tickets, and that's it. Let's see. So where can you get tickets, and when's the next fight?
Right. So next fight is 15th of June on Fusion. That's at Epsom Racecourse. Tickets, you can message me on Instagram, or if you know me, you probably have my number. Last fight had quite a good turnout. This fight, I'm looking for a better one. So, yeah, it'd be nice for the support. I've got a really hard fight against a good international fighter. It's not going to be like the other ones. I'm expecting a complete war and a complete bloodbath. So, buy your tickets, get hold of me.
And what's your prediction quickly on that fight? Your upcoming fight.
I'm not going to say because I think I've got a little something up my sleeve, I reckon.
Brilliant. You know, I'll be there. I can't wait to watch it. I'm sure a lot of people can't wait to watch it as well. I'm pretty sure they can watch it on Fight TV as well. Is that correct? I think it's on Fight TV. They can watch Fusion.
Yeah. You can stream it live. I'll obviously be posting that on my social media about where you can watch it. But come down, enjoy the environment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, come down to Fusion. I've been there myself. It's a great environment. Jimmy's always got loads of support with him, as well as all the KFA lads we see here. Jimmy, thanks very much. We really look forward to seeing you next time, mate.
Appreciate it.